This is quite pleasant.
Pleasant?
All the crazy
like. You take a bite of it first and then put it in the water.
Yes.
Guys, I have to pee. I don't miss the food, so do you mind if I just pee in the water?
No.
Do I pee in the water? Are you serious? I don't mind if you go pee.
Scoot over.
Cool. Baby shark.
I'll show you who I am and what I am.
Well, hello, everybody.
The maniacal laughter.
So I have the raccoons occupied with food. There you go.
Yeah.
So
Incredible.
how is everybody? Uninspired, how are you?
I'm doing good, man. How about yourself?
Not too bad.
Nice to meet everyone on the panel. Hello to all of you. And hey to everyone in the chat.
Yeah, they're here.
I feel like I've streamed with you one time or something, Uninspired Reviewer.
Yeah, we've streamed already.
Yeah.
Yep.
Might have been on Danny's channel. I can't remember where
We've
it
streamed
was.
twice, actually.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Roman.
Shieldwall, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for having me on. Turns out that I'd only ever seen this movie in bits and pieces, like on TV and stuff, so I've never actually seen the whole thing.
That's interesting.
Yeah, sometimes that helps, but it was good. I watched it today, and for 1933, it's a pretty good. It kind of boggles my mind that sound only came into theater in movies in 1928.
Like 27.
Yeah, 27,
28.
28, somewhere in there, and this is the level that they had achieved with special effects and all these other kind of things. So yeah, I think it's a great movie. I liked it.
So Mando, hey Mando, what's up?
I rebuilt my studio after watching the last episode of Soka.
Got everything everything that was broken replaced.
Everything's good. The tantrum, the police may have been called, maybe not. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Good thing I have a great relationship with most of my neighbors. Doing good. I was traveling this weekend, and it was nice to not have to watch a lot of trash on the interwebs.
Yes.
I got a reprieve, and we actually watched the Mario movie. Me and my family watched the Mario movie, and it was
Nice.
actually pretty good. I didn't expect it to be good. I was just like, it's fun. Okay.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. No stuff that wasn't needed. And it was just a fun movie. So let's say hello to the chat. Jay
Hello,
Goodman.
chat.
Hello, sir. How are you doing?
Hi, Jay.
Here's Melvin.
Hey,
Sup?
Melvin.
Hello.
And the Gourd King is here.
Pumpkin Man.
Preposterous.
The Beard of Liberty. Hello.
Hey.
What's up, beard?
And at the end here, we got Roman of the Empire. Hello
Hey,
there.
Roman.
Weirdos. You invite us to your
who
panel
you calling
sometimes. Who's
weirdos?
actually the weirdo?
Roman.
Just because I destroyed things based off of a fictitious world with fictitious people with wearing fictitious armor and getting upset about them not wearing their fictitious armor doesn't make me weird. Yes, I'll be nice to my neighbor Bev. Yes.
So yeah, this has been it's been a while since I've watched this movie, but I enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed it better than The Wolfman, which was still fairly good. But
I
this
agree
one,
with
I don't
that.
know,
I agree with that.
The Invisible Man is more entertaining.
Yeah.
It's also
Also
got
read
one of
that,
those. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead, Mando.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, it's just one of those, like, I was regaling the plot of the movie to my husband, and he's like, "Wow, that's a tragic movie or a tragic story." And it's like, yeah, people nowadays making movies could stand to look back on this movie and be like, "I wonder what they got right."
Yeah,
because they didn't have much to work with, and I feel like this movie is a better tier than a lot of the stuff that we're given today.
I agree.
RC,
I think just despite like
Sharif,
some pacing issues, that's it. I think it could be a great movie if you do it today.
RC
Right.
Sharif, I hope I pronounced that right. The director actually wanted the H.G. Wells book, and they couldn't find it, and so they went through several scripts that other people have written, and they finally found the book, and it was more accurate than the Dracula or Frankenstein movies in the 31.
Are
So
you talking about as far as scientifically or?
just more accurate to the book.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah.
Respecting the source material.
Material,
It
exactly.
helps.
Canon.
It helps.
Who would think that respecting source material would make a movie good?
And the thing about this
No.
movie being in 1933 is that anything that we know about the Invisible Man story these days has gone through so many iterations and had time to really seep into the collective consciousness of
I
the
totally
audience.
agree.
Whereas back then, I think some of the issues that a modern audience might have with it, and I'm not talking about like, the way that certain people are treated or anything like that. You know what I mean? Normal stuff that they would pick at today, more as pacing and other things like that. Back then, this was like, wow. Because as far as I know, almost all of it was shot on a set again, like the Wolfman.
Yeah.
But it looked good on a set.
Yeah.
And I was looking at some of the camera like pullbacks and things that they did, and I think that some of those felt like newer transitions that they were trying out for film. So I think this movie might have been groundbreaking in a number of ways, special effects wise and filming
I mean,
techniques and stuff.
even like filming wise, look at
So-
how crisp the film looks today. I mean,
Mhm.
even 12 Angry Men doesn't look as good as this movie from 1933. It's incredible.
Yeah, it is.
Now, I don't know if the version that I watched had a bunch of like, 4K magic done to it, stuff like that. But I think that if you got a good copy of this at your local theater back in the day when it came out, you got to see it like just as crisp and bright as it was. But yeah, that's a good point. I Now that you mention it, it looks a lot better than a lot of other same period movies.
Yeah, exactly. And I
Yeah.
mean, like stuff
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
the thing from another world. That's like 1957. I mean, this looks better, and it's from 33. As
Yeah.
we said before, sound only started becoming like the commonplace 5 or 6 years before.
I think maybe it has something to do with they were using the most high-end equipment available when they made this one, and by the time you get into the 50s, they're just churning stuff out on to be as affordable as possible to get as much content out
Huh.
there.
I wonder if like
Yeah.
patterns repeat themselves.
Exactly, right.
Huh.
So this was going to be like a blockbuster type movie, whereas maybe some of these other ones, especially in the 50s, they were just, making 1,000 movies a year or something.
Yeah.
So that might explain it. But yeah, look how good this looks.
Well,
Yeah.
also like with them recently just doing sound, I bet they were playing with different angles with the sound, trying to figure out which sound like was best with which angle. Like, so I
Well,
completely think
you
that they
can
were probably
tell,
just
and I'll get into
testing
that.
things.
Like I'll get into that when we get to the scenes. But there's some scenes that are framed with like huge vases in front of the actors or right behind the actors. Like flower pots and stuff. And if you just remember something like in Singing in the Rain, yeah, that movie is like about transitioning, to sound. And
Mhm.
in one of the scenes in Singing in the Rain, you have the actress, they tell her to speak into the flower pot because that's where the microphone is. And so every time I see a flower pot in this movie, especially around people when they just have dialogue, it just reminds me of that. So I constantly think it's just a filmmaking thing.
Yeah.
It could be.
Well, there is
Yeah,
the
it could
shot
be,
of
definitely.
the lead woman in the movie. I can't remember her name, but where she's like got they're doing a shot through a flower pot with the
Yeah.
flowers. And
Yeah.
it's supposed to make her look, more beautiful or whatever, but who knows? Maybe that's where the the microphone was. I know I saw a movie, I can't remember which one it was, but it was about when they first started having sound, and they had these actors that were great in silent film, but their voice was terrible.
Yep.
Mhm.
And or they would do things that they could do in silent film, like they would wear like a mic and it would be on their person with like a wire trailing behind them or something, or close enough. And one of the scenes was a woman with pearls, and she kept messing with the pearls, and it was making all this noise. And they're like, "Hey, you can't do that." Where it didn't matter in the silent films. Now you had to be careful of noise discipline, and what you touched and what you moved, and that also is when they invented like all the Foley stuff, like footsteps and do
Mhm.
after production things. So but yeah, it was kind of
Sound
interesting,
effects.
right?
Yeah. So the lion's head,
Yep.
pretty good. Down the road is the slaughtered lamb, too.
And yeah, Jay makes a good point.
Yep.
And so this is like the Lion's Head pub.
Yeah.
Oh man. You know the pianist that they show at the beginning is actually my my outro on my videos.
Hmm.
Oh, okay, cool.
Oh, he's
Every
got a pipe.
single
I need to
video I
bring out
make.
my Hobbit pipe.
Yeah, I love there's little like quibs, like people in the background.
Yeah,
Mhm.
everyone's
Like this
having
guy's
fun and
like
stuff.
he puts a quarter in the piano before the guy's ready.
Yeah, so you can basically tell that it's a close knitted community. Like it's a small village, so everyone knows each other.
Yeah.
It's a good way to show it because you know that the population is down and there are a lot of people in the pub.
Mhm.
Which
Yeah.
was kind of where it was like the one place everybody kind of hung out and socialized.
Yep.
And too, it adds to that they know each other. It's winter outside, and they still come to the pub to chill out, and so
Yeah.
it's
Well,
even weirder for a guy to come in the middle of winter, looking
In
for
a
a room.
blizzard almost too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah. And this is pre-television.
Mm-hmm.
I was at first I wasn't sure what time period it was set in, because it looked like they were using like oil lamps and stuff. And then when I saw the car, I was like, okay, it was
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
20s or something.
early 20s, mid 20s. It makes sense that, like, especially in a remote area like this, they'd probably have a mixture of like old and new things. So
Yeah, that's for sure.
One thing about this scene was that
Dude, look
really
at
bugged me
this.
was the dartboard. I was like, that's a crappy dartboard.
Yeah. The dartboard.
Yeah, this is like
Man.
wood, like straight up wood.
mhm.
Look at how good this shot is.
Yeah.
Bro,
For
like,
today, it holds up and it looks good.
and it's
Yeah.
unnerving. That it
Yes.
looks so good. It's unnerving.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
And such an easy Halloween costume too.
Mhm.
Oh, for sure. I mean, like, look at how many characters since then have been inspired by him or have been reiterations of him, and they still don this iconic dress,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, H.G. Wells.
Mhm.
And he just walks in and leaves the door wide open.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
Rude.
No, dude, the Riddler, 1933 edition.
Right.
yeah, right.
The invisible riddle.
That's what I was thinking, Jay, is they would think that if, depending on when this was, he could have been like a war veteran that got burned or exploded or whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that's why they always try and look at his face too. The woman's always trying to see what happened to him and ask him questions and approach him.
Well, that actress, that character has all the expectations of a very nosy person, like gossipy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
She's supposed to represent the trope of the nosy woman.
Yeah.
She also has crazy eyes.
She looks familiar. Like I've seen her in something else. But
Maybe.
she might have been
The
older.
wife of Dracula?
No, you know what? She might have. I'd have to look up
I
her
think
name.
she's
and
a
then,
character actor.
right.
Mm.
Yeah, she usually plays the same type of characters.
I mean, a lot of actors back then played the same type of characters.
Mm-hmm.
And that was how it is. It was all like a bit extravagant, and so it was all in the world was in hyperbole. Basically, everyone was just exaggerating everything.
And there's a young Walter Brennan in this too.
Interesting.
Yeah, her name is Una O'Connor.
Yeah, I'm looking her up right now. So she's Irish.
At that time, it was probably like made for stage plays and stuff because touring around the country.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so she came up according to this in like the vaudeville era, like 1913. So
yeah, she was in Young Frankenstein, or no, not Young, Bride of Frankenstein, and what else did it say?
like the Starlight Express is from 1915. They must have added roller skates later to that show. That's off topic, but I saw a Starlight Express like theatrical thing in Vegas, and it was like a musical, and they were on roller skates. But it's about a train, and like a kid dreaming about trains and stuff.
Sounds like a weird movie Disney would make now.
They'd mess it up. The show was really good.
I was about to say they'd mess it so. It'd be so bad, and it wouldn't be the Invisible Man. We all know that if they were to make the Invisible Man nowadays, it would not be the Invisible Man. It would be the invisible person of color that thinks that they're invisible and identifies as invisible.
I mean, they made the Invisible Man in 2020. You know, Lee Wannell's The Invisible Man, the one that they rebooted with I forget her name, the actress, but yeah, it was pretty good. It was a movie, and in that one, the Invisible Man was like a white abusive husband. So,
of course, it was.
You don't know, man.
Well, the key thing about the Invisible Man is he always goes kind of crazy. So now, if he started,
but he was just like an obsessive husband in the new one.
Okay, like before he turned invisible.
Yeah. Like he actually just created the technology to become invisible, like mini cameras that reflect the other side of what you're wearing and stuff. Yeah, it's like scientifically explained. It's not just he drank a potion.
Right. So this portion right here, it really explains a lot about British culture, especially back then. If you notice, all the men are out in the thing playing darts, and all the women are back here. That is that was even up until World War II and a little bit past, where men and women would have it separate areas for the pub.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is pretty interesting.
It's probably warmer back there.
And I mean, where he's going to sleep too, man, there's going to be so much noise from the pub that he's going to constantly hear. It's crazy that like people even want to stay in inns like this, you know, that it's an actual business that was prevalent at the time.
I think eventually at that point, it just becomes white noise, like just background noise that you learn how to filter out.
So that is an actual oil lamp there on the table.
Yeah, it is. Back in the old days, man.
Yeah,
I've
got one sitting on my desk, just in case the power goes out.
You never know, man.
Yeah,
dude, I grew
flashlight
up
right on my desk.
I grew up having candles all over the place, man, because they'd cut the power over there. Like, man, every single fucking day, you'd probably have a power outage.
Man. So, yeah, so she's just still tries to start a conversation with him and stuff.
And yeah, like this scene is also set up because she says that it's gonna be the coldest winter that they've had in a while. And so it sets up the end. The way that they catch him at the end is because of so much snow, because it's the coldest winter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They actually thought about the ending. What? Most
Yeah,
people
they
nowadays, they
set up
just
this
write and they're just
ending.
like, I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Good one.
There you go.
There we
Nice.
go. Nice.
But yeah, she comes off as annoying and she's just like talkative and just there, you know?
Yeah.
See late.
I love Claude
It also
Rains'
makes sense. She
performance.
helps run the inn. She has to know what's going on.
Oh, for sure. I agree.
So, she's like Frau Brucke in Young Frankenstein. I mean, she has the same kind of look.
Exactly, and I think that's what they were going with.
There you go.
It was trying to emulate this kind of stuff, you know.
Just
Go away. He's probably thinking, "Would you go away? Okay, already? Come on."
But yeah, and at this point, she's like consistently asking him stuff and just going away. Boom. Go.
Like, please go away. Leave me alone.
He asked if there was a key to the room.
Yeah, he wanted to be able to lock it.
Yeah, and she's like, I don't think so. I haven't seen a key for this room since I got here, which implies that this building is older and they took it over from somebody.
Yeah,
which makes sense that people did that all the time.
Yeah,
it's like how you basically get your inheritance.
Yeah. So there's Walter Brennan there.
Okay. I see.
He always played an older character than his actual age because he didn't have any teeth. And he was bald too.
Man, so he was like typecast.
Yeah.
The poor bastard.
That's true, Jay. It's a British pub. The building is probably hundreds of years old.
Probably,
Man,
yeah.
British pubs have the most ghosts. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
The most ghosts you'll ever find are in a pub.
Yep.
Yeah, bringing up the butter. I think that's what it is.
I was just looking at that sign.
Base in bottle.
I don't know.
Bass in bottle?
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah, Bass.
Oh.
I think it's like a beer brand or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Probably, yeah.
beer brand. Because she asks for a bass to take up. No, not a fish. A beer. Come on.
Yeah, and he's basically just like, yeah, drop the stuff, leave.
Get out of my way.
Oh man, such good design too.
Yeah.
The room is simple. His like costume is incredibly simple. It's been paid homage to in like so many different movies. Like there's even a good time traveling Spanish movie that I love. It's called Time Crimes, and the guy, he even wears the same type of costume like this with all the bandages on him. Like it's become an iconic look.
Yeah, I think there was a bad guy in the TV series Fringe that did the same thing.
Didn't know the guy from oh man, it just leapt out of my brain. It's a movie about the 1980s superheroes with Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah.
Watchmen?
Yeah. Watchmen. Didn't Rorschach, he wore like a hat and a coat like that?
Yeah,
had a
true,
mask
true.
with
They even had the mask,
spacesuit and
yeah,
stuff. Yeah,
with the
yep,
mask with the ink blot stuff.
yeah, very, very Invisible Man style
Mm-hmm.
to me.
True.
Yeah.
Yep, and
It's
Zax
like you
is right
forgot the
in
mustard.
Doom Patrol
Mm-hmm.
as
Doom
well.
Patrol, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I remember Doom Patrol. Yeah.
So the maid forgot the mustard, so she has to take the mustard back up.
Yep.
She's like, oh my.
Oh my god.
Yeah, because she walks on him eating, and you can see it like his his VFX here is so well done.
It's like, yeah.
Like, has
What I
she ever
like-
heard of knocking?
what I like is the shot is so fast that your average moviegoer wouldn't be able to see, and now you're like, ooh, what's under there? You
Yeah.
know, I mean, obviously the title of the movie gives it away, but if that wasn't the case, you'd think, oh, maybe he's got like no bottom jaw or something, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, you think that he's like off the war, you know?
Right.
Yo.
Or he could be like that dude from a Hellboy that was like
Mhm.
German guy or whatever, where he didn't have any lips.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Copa.
Hey, Copa. But yeah, man, the VFX for the time incredible.
Yeah.
And also the pacing of the movie is like it's only an hour 11 minutes, and that's cool because at that time there were movies that were going, an hour and a half, an hour 40. So I'm glad that they managed to tell this story in that time, because I do think that it's still slow for what it is. They could have sped it up a bit at some parts. So I think that the runtime is pretty good for what they like, for the amount of material that they had.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
I think to these days they would have padded it with him just like killing people gratuitously and stuff,
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's what I
Yeah.
mean.
and a bunch
Yeah.
of like nonsensical conversations or something.
Dialogue. Unnecessary dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
And so she comes out. Everybody's, waiting for her to come back to hear what information she's gotten.
Yep. And
Yeah.
this is where they're all joking, like, what type of cut does he have? What's wrong with his face and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, just once again, just showing you how tight knit the people in the community are.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, R2.
Hey, R2.
So then
Oh
it
yeah,
cuts to
doctors.
Clarence.
Yep. Dr. Cranley.
Yeah.
He's just doing his
Mr.
experiment.
Cranley.
Yeah, I don't really like this guy's acting in the movie. I think that he's lacking a lot,
Yeah.
He's not giving any emotion.
Yeah, well, I think that was intentional. I think he's supposed to be the trope of the detached scientist who just happens to also be
Yeah.
a father.
Yeah, but I mean, you'd give a bit more of a shit. I mean, it's your daughter. It's your daughter's
Yeah.
guy, It's not
That's
just
true.
anyone.
So she's worried about him because they haven't heard from him in months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they haven't heard of Jack Griffin in months.
Yeah. He's like, he's okay. He'll be back.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you even know? When was the last time you spoke to him?
Yep.
Are
You
you
never
an
know.
idiot? No, I'm kidding.
Oh yeah, and this is Kemp.
Yeah.
Arthur Kemp, the
Who
villain.
has a thing for the lady.
Yeah, he has a thing for Jack
Mm.
Griffin's I'm guessing fiance. And the thing is weird is it's that, well, they don't do anything to add that as conflict in the script to make a more interesting dynamic to explore.
Mhm.
You know, maybe if you want to pad
Yeah.
the movie down, you can pad it with this because it'll just add to the Invisible Man's psychological torture, knowing that his best friend is trying to creep on his wife, like while he's not there. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's a shame that they didn't try and emphasize on that and they just used it in throwaway. You know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
This scene here, you could tell, how close it was to stage acting.
Mhm.
I'll play it real quick. It's like there's the wall, and he just walks
Yep.
through the door.
It's so
It's
weird.
like, yeah.
It always fascinates me. It's like, what the fuck is going on? Why not just like pull the camera a bit like closer, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I think that this being a transition period, though, I think that they were just testing things out for the most part. So there's going to be little mistakes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
they're
in
like, "We'll
Singing
just
in the
put a
Rain,
pot
that's
here."
like trying to depict that. They still use a lot of sets in Singing in the Rain rather than going out into real buildings and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine they're still, transitioning on this.
And this too, he probably can't see her very well because of the flowers.
I told you guys, man, the flower pot, I'm convinced that that's for the microphone.
Probably.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because
This is
it's
the
so
shot
prominent.
that I'm talking about here, that I was talking about backstage.
Yeah, and it's not really for blocking or anything. It's just like there.
I mean, they could have chosen some shorter flowers, like.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but they had
Also,
to hide a huge mic.
this must have
Yeah.
been before the what's it called? This was 33, right? So this is the same year as King Kong.
Yeah.
So this is before I'm trying to, like, where they like start policing the movies a little bit better with what content they have and stuff. Because this actress here, there's a couple of scenes later on where she's wearing like some pretty kind of see-through stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
For back then.
Mhm.
true.
Yeah, look
Yeah,
at
man.
this.
Look,
What's going on with the shot?
Middle of the shot, man. I told you.
Or is this some kind of way of them saying that like she's positioning herself this way because this dude's a creeper? And
I
know what I
think
mean?
that's. I think it's her body language saying that I'm uncomfortable around you. I think she's just trying to put something in between her and him.
Yeah. Right.
Nah, fuck that, man. It's for the microphone. I think we all know
That
that.
too. Yeah, absolutely. I'm
Trust
thinking
us.
meth.
But the other thing is in this scene, it was weird. Like her acting was kind of off to me. You know what I mean? Like the way her
Yeah.
eyes were. They didn't like move like a normal person's. I don't know. So it was almost like maybe in this scene there wasn't anybody on the other side.
That's
Maybe.
also, the crossover between stage acting too.
Right.
You had
Yes, because
to
you weren't
over
used to.
accentuate your movements so people in the far back could see you.
Mm.
I mean, she does have like more of a theater background, so like.
Yeah.
Well, I'm guessing they all had more of a theater background in 33 because, it was popular, but not as popular.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that look she's giving him, like, go away.
Right?
Mm-hmm. And yeah, and plus it's so weird because he sits down next to her and everything is speaking to her in her ear. It's like, Jesus, man.
This
Like,
is
it gave me the heebie-jeebies. Like, oh god, you're near my neck.
like
Yeah.
Worm Tongue in the Two Towers.
Right.
Mhm.
And I get that, like, the way that men talk to women and what the expectations were different back then, but I think even an audience back then was like, this dude's kind of a creeper. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
Your pencil mustache bothers me. Go away.
I mean, I think
You
that's
have a
what
pencil mustache.
they're
That's
trying to
immediately
do.
bad guy.
Yeah, it's like I think that's what they're trying to do because since the Invisible Man has to kill him at the end, they do need to have an antagonist that isn't the police force.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Right.
this is the only way of maybe trying to properly set him up for something like that. Giving a characteristic of a bad man. So that's it.
What are you saying, Ricky? That this actress was 23. She looks like she's 55.
Yeah, she does look like she's 50.
Really?
She looks
I
old,
think it's
man.
the makeup.
Yeah. Well, you know what they say is people looked older back then. You know, all the smoking and
Yeah.
stuff.
Mm-hmm. Dude, it must have been incredible. Like, why don't we have any more movies on actors trying to like
So,
struggle throughout the silent to sound era, you know?
Yeah.
so Giggle makes a good point. She was Old Rose in Titanic. I just looked it up.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What? Really?
What?
This lady?
Oh, this lady. Oh, I thought you were talking about the other lady. I was like, she died in 1957. I'm sorry. I'm still back on the lady and the other because she was in Bride of Frankenstein
Mm.
as the servant, dressed like Frau Blucher.
Valvuga.
I found a picture of her, and she looks exactly the same. She
wait,
even has a little
wait.
hair thing and whatever.
You said it. You said it. So go back to him. And he's obviously frustrated
Mm-hmm.
because his experiment's not working.
And at this point, we don't really know the passage of time that was going on because they do say that it's a couple of months later. So he's been up in this place shacking up for probably a year almost, you know?
Yeah. So she's like, really nosy. I'm going to put my tea in here because I carried it up here.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, nope. And he shoves her out. And they're
Bro,
"Nope,
like you're
no more."
paying to stay. Sorry.
Yeah, and it's like she's so annoying too with it. Like she doesn't even do it properly. Just not even a hello.
Yeah.
What's up, JT Gunn?
Hey, JT
Hey,
Gun.
JT.
What's up, GT?
And this is where she bullies her husband into wanting to kick him out. It's like, yeah, go give him the receipt. Tell him to pay the last rent, and then we're kicking him out.
Because right, isn't he like behind on rent?
Yeah, he's a week behind.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm.
He owes him like £3 and something, which is a lot of money back then.
Dude, £3 sounds like nothing today.
It literally is nothing today, but back then it was a lot of money.
It's crazy.
Back
But
then, if
yeah,
you wanted
man.
£100, you had to go to like Gringotts or something.
Jesus. Man, Claude Rain is so good in this performance. It's like he also didn't act in any movies before this for I think almost a decade. Because he was on hiatus. I think he went to join the army or something. And then this was the first movie that he made in a while. And then after that, he continued acting. But yeah, man, like his performance is great in this. I feel like the voice that he gives is incredible.
What's even better about it is you don't actually even see him for 90% of more than that, like 98% of the movie. Like
yeah,
what
exactly.
what the actor actually looks like. He's
That's why
right.
you can tell that he's a great actor because you
Right.
can't even tell. Like he needs to act just with his voice and with his gestures, and he still manages to convey so much emotion.
And then when he goes totally invisible, he's just acting with his voice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Today, people can't even keep their helmet on.
True.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
You need nanotechnology, man.
For the entire show.
So he's like, you got to go. And this is like one of his only times where he's kind, I guess.
Yeah.
But he's pleading to please let him stay.
Yeah, because like at this point he's desperate because he's been here for months. He thought that he would have changed back by now, and he knows that there's probably nowhere that he can go because he doesn't even have money to pay rent. So he's just trying to plead and do whatever he can.
Yep. And then you touched his equipment.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, he just like boom.
Yep. He puts a beat down on him, throws him down the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it's kind of implied, but not ever stated, that the serum that made him invisible kind of makes him stronger a little bit. Maybe they're
Yeah, it
Well, it
implies that
makes
it
him
makes you mad.
right. So it
it
brings
makes you
out like
crazy.
adrenaline, or like he has a
Mhm.
constant adrenaline rush whenever
Yeah.
Mhm.
he gets angry. So he's a lot stronger than maybe a normal person.
Yeah, so he's
I
Hulk
wonder if this
basically.
was
Yeah.
the inspiration for the Incredible Hulk.
And
Yeah.
I'm not talking like superhuman strong. It's just that he's
He's stronger than the average person. You know, it's
right.
like someone on
Yeah.
drugs.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like he's
right,
on
That they
right.
say
right.
they
Like
say
he's on PCP or
crackhead
something. Yeah.
crackhead strength. You know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Exactly. Because they'll explain later that part of one of the ingredients to the thing making him invisible is an actual drug that it's like a drug.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. And her screaming in this, it's like, "Ah."
yeah, that was a little bit of overacting on my.
Yeah,
I
Oh,
thought.
dude, her
That
screaming is
that
like
was the theater
worst
acting,
part.
like full on, like you knew she was like.
Which I
Dude,
think goes back to like that would be something you do on a stage.
oh, for
Yes.
sure.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think that it doesn't fit well with the tone when she does that. It's so weird. And even this guy, so this is a weird like issue that I have with the movie is that nobody reacts to an invisible man. It's an invisible man, a man that
Yeah,
cannot
right.
be seen. And this dude is just like, oh wait, it's an invisible man. Well, okay.
That
You
should have
know,
been.
Right.
it
Well,
hasn't shaken your existence to the core.
I think at this point he hasn't. He's just like, yeah, Invisible Man. You guys been all drinking in here or something. And
Mhm.
but he's like, all right, I know everybody in the village enough to where I trust him that something's going on, so I'll go up in there.
Mm-hmm. And it's when he goes up in there that he sees that there's the invisible man. Truly.
Mhm.
Yeah. I don't think he knows there's an invisible man yet.
No, not yet. Like in a few
Not
seconds.
yet. In a few seconds, he's
Yeah, right now this is just some creepy dude wrapped up in
yeah.
bandages or something.
Mm-hmm.
Which I even don't think that would have been extremely abnormal for someone to have their face wrapped and be wearing this because of the war. Because like there was gases that was used to like burn your face. Like some people wouldn't want to show off their face. Like very much hurt. Like your eyelids could be
No, I
injured.
agree. I agree.
And he's like, "You get out of here, or else."
Mm-hmm. And so he basically just beats up the police, you know?
And
He wants
throws
to beat
his
up the
nose-
police.
Throws his nose at him, like, "Oh goodness!"
I just
And
love
there he
everyone's
is.
reactions too. They're all exaggerated. But yeah, this is a good example of CGI at the time, you know?
Right.
Mhm.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how did they? I was wondering how they did this. Like, because you could see through him, where his head should be, into those other people.
Yep.
I mean, you can see a little bit of an outline, but I mean, I've seen more modern special effects from like the 60s that look way worse than this.
Yep.
Mhm.
You know, where the outline
Yeah.
of whatever they're put on is super obvious.
Yep.
You know, it's
Mhm.
like shaking around, and so it looks like it's two different filmings layered on top of each other,
Mm-hmm.
and so you can really tell this. It's hard to make that out. You can tell, but it's not anywhere near as much. And again, I think it goes back to they put maybe a lot of money into this production, whereas a lot of those other movies might be, you know, a little more done on the cheap.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, you'd still have people that were in there because as we said before, this is like the same year as King Kong. So people were so good at special
Right.
effects at the time. I think that this was special effects at its peak. And
Yes.
people were
Mhm.
experimenting all the time. So
Mhm.
special effects is the fact that like even in this shot and the shots before, you can tell that it's a actual dummy that they have there. And so I just think that it was the pinnacle of both special effects and VFX of that time specifically. That's why they were able to create something like this.
Right. Right.
Yeah, the way they did this, Claude Rains dressed up in black velvet,
Mm.
and then they filmed him with a screen of black velvet behind him. So all that would show up were his clothing, and then they, I guess, cut it out and put it in the scene.
Mm.
Which you can
Editing.
almost see a seam line, but you barely see a seam line.
Yep. And yeah, as Jay says in the chat, it is like easier to do because black and white compositing is way
Mhm.
easier.
Yeah.
Oh man, this way they're
They're
all
just like, yeah.
oh my god, Invisible Man. I honestly don't know how I'd
He's like
react, but they
very
always take
calmly.
it really good.
The policeman's like very calmly, he's invisible. We'll just go shut the door on him.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
It's like, dude, this man fears nothing.
Yeah.
He's got the mustache. Like, yeah,
He's the best dude to have as a policeman.
Mm-hmm.
I like this part where they come back in. He hasn't got any pants on.
There's no pants on this man.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't see anything because he's invisible. But there's no pants on him.
Even here, the VFX is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can just tell the outline a bit in scenes like this.
Mm-hmm.
But that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
People would think it's a ghost now.
It's well done enough that I can totally suspend my disbelief. It's not like Ant-Man, the last Ant-Man movie, crappy.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
True. I mean, sometimes you can see strings in the shots. I was able to tell because, like, since I made a video on this, I watched it a lot of times, and I was able to see strings sometimes, and it was really fun to see them again when on the rewatch for tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, having strings on stuff is kind of like watching old, like 1960s Godzilla movies, where you know it's obviously a dude in a rubber suit, and the jets are models with like bottle rockets under the wings and on wires, but
Yeah, you can kind of see it right there.
But yeah, you can still suspend your disbelief, you know. I know he's got all this high-end lab equipment.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's just like, it's a ghost.
Yeah, man, the best policeman ever.
Yeah. He kind of tricks him that he went out the window, and it's like, nope.
Mm-hmm. Indeed, Claude Rains. And yeah, at least like he doesn't kill this guy, which is weird because he does kill the I think it's like the commissioner or something like that after.
I think this is him just in the beginning stages of his rage. I don't think it's quite fully evolved to the point of like him being in a blind rage. This is just him raging but not blind rage yet.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, like the glasses. He's just like torturing people in stupid ways.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny right now, you know?
Right.
I like the way these people, like, he's pushing through them. And then he gets on a bike.
And everyone's just like, what the heck is going on?
Yeah, it just annoys everyone.
Yeah, and he even...
Like, that's what you see every day. Just a bike driving itself down the street.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a Tuesday.
And he even knocks over a baby carriage with a baby in it.
Yep.
It's like, ah.
My baby! My baby!
Dude, the amount of like pettiness that he has to be doing something like this to the town.
Yeah.
Just like the most annoying thing, not even like really, really harmful, just super annoying.
so Roman's saying that if Mando got invisibility powers, he would just run around yelling about Ahsoka and Sabine not wearing her helmet while she threw bricks in the buildings and stuff.
Bro,
Well, she
like,
just has a helmet on, and there's just a floating helmet walking around.
yes,
Yeah,
there's just
yep.
a floating head. That'd be funny.
He's like, I love this. He's talking to the higher up, and he's like, maybe you should have watered it down more.
Yeah, because he's like,
Drinking.
where are you at? He's like, I'm at the pub. And he's like, okay. You know what I mean? And that's a logical assumption. You know, you know very well that cops probably drank on duty back then.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but I mean, like, that's the problem is that the movie tries to give you two different things. So I would say that that's a valid thing to think if this cop that had seen the Invisible Man wasn't so chill with the fact of seeing an invisible dude, you know? Like
Yeah.
he instantly believed and was chill with it. And so, like, you're basically telling me that we live in a world where people see an invisible man and they're like, oh, okay, cool. So why would like the commissioner or something not believe that much, you know?
I think
Yeah.
part of the and this is my own personal headcanon, the reason why the officer was so freaking calm and he's been so freaking calm, he had to have been in World War One, and he's like, bro, I've seen some stuff. This is nothing.
Yeah, I've seen some stuff.
Oh,
I've
dude,
seen things.
we need more war horror movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they're searching his office, and he burned most everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, then here you get a bit more of his character because they are doing some exposition on him, and so they're telling like they were essentially just telling the audience how it was like. So they're saying, oh, he was secretive. He used to lock all the cabinets. Not good doctors don't lock the cabinets, you know, stuff like that.
Well, this guy might have stolen his work. You know, if he just left it open. He sounds like that kind of.
Maybe that's why he
character.
locks his stuff, is because it was you never know.
True.
Maybe that's where he was keeping his first edition Conan book.
Probably.
Maybe.
Yeah, man. At this point, there's this is where they start meeting to. They're just talking about him, and all of this is exposition, which is a main problem I have about the movie. Is that it's a lot of scenes where there is just exposition that's being given, and
Yeah.
it does get annoying after a while because the movie is an hour and 11 minutes. But as I said in the beginning, it does feel long, even though it is an hour and 11 minutes. It's because it's exposition most of the time.
Right.
Yeah.
And they repeat exposition too. So it's like in one scene you'll hear, "Oh, the door is red," and then in the next scene you'll hear them say, "Oh, she said the door is red." And it's like, yeah, you already told me this. You know, that's how stupid sometimes the information is conveyed in the movie, which I just think kills the pacing.
Yeah, I can see that a little bit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love this. The door opens behind him. He's like, did the door open?
Mm-hmm.
And then you hear on the radio, a sickness has gone through a village. They think they've seen an invisible man.
Invisible Man, yeah.
Everyone's seen the Invisible Man.
And I am surprised of the scope that they were able to have with the movie because the movie does like it starts out with one small village, but then after that you basically end up with a whole county fearing the Invisible Man, you know? 10,000 men, they say, and everything like that. So it does keep a personal story, but elevates it to big stakes, but manages to still keep it small, you know? I think that's incredible.
Yeah, it's quite
Well,
sure.
that was what was interesting about part of it was that just with the invention of the radio that you could sit in your house and listen, that news could get out that fast. If
Mhm.
this was
Yeah.
the time before that, it would have taken much longer to get all those resources together. Um, you know, going back a little bit, it would have had to have been telephone, because they had telephones and wire before that, and before that it was Morse code with the
Yep.
telegraph. So just those inventions right there allow you to make that many people. You can get them all on the same page pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's like terrified here.
I mean, wouldn't you be? I'd be
Oh,
I'd
yeah.
be terrified.
Hear a disembodied voice.
Bro, I'd be like, dude, if you're gonna try and freak me out, like, do better.
Dude,
I don't
it's really, really easy to scare me, so I'd probably just be dead.
See, Nana, I sleep next to a pew pew, two stabbies, and I have a baseball bat not too far away. You come trying to scare me. I feel bad for whoever would try and do that, because they're gonna get messed up.
Dude, I just sleep with my pillow, so I'll just be like, yo, it's a pillow fight. That's it.
And that's
It's
not including
on.
my husband, who also sleeps with pokies. Yeah. So. The
He, like,
swords
tells
that
him
we
to
keep
sit
by our
down.
bed, dear.
Oh, he thought you were talking about a different pokey.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's what I thought. He's like, what kind of secrets are you telling the chat?
I mean, if you want to see, I even have a dagger that I keep on my desk. Like,
So he's like, is he more freaked out that he's invisible or freaked out that he's naked? Or both?
Naked.
probably.
These days they would have
That
made,
feels so weird sitting thinking on
Yeah.
that chair.
but these days they would have tried to make something out of that. You know what I mean? The fact that he's
Yeah.
naked, he'd be doing weird stuff with women or whatever.
Dude, they would have said, oh, they're exploring his sexuality.
He's like, no, don't sit on my. Oh, you sat on my scarf.
Dude, it's like this is a complete role reversal now. Like at the beginning, you saw the Invisible Man just be a small dude staying in his corner, even like pleading to be able to stay in his corner, while Kemp was trying to like be the big man, trying to take over his life, take his girl and stuff like that. And now you've got Kemp terrified of the dude that was considered, scrawny and stuff.
Yeah.
And this
It's
scene
like,
here, where
if you try to run, I will kill you.
he's smoking a cigarette, and he's got a lit match.
Yeah, you can see the wires.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
maybe
But
maybe I'm the version that I got. They digitally removed him or something.
Maybe. Honestly, the version that I have,
maybe.
like, I always see the wires.
Because when I watched it today, I didn't see wires or like little sticks or anything.
I saw some on this scene. I see some in the other scene where he goes through the window and moves the books. You can see them clear as day on that one.
Yeah, you can see it when he picks up the bottle of liquid, and you can kind of see it over the picture in the background.
Yep.
And they use black thread too. So in most of the scenes, you can't see it unless there's like white behind it.
I agree. Yep. And that's why you can see it clearly when there's the books, because I think that there's white behind it.
They probably didn't have plastic fishing line at this point in history.
No, I doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty good scene of him just trying to control Kemp.
Yeah. Well, now that you said that, Shieldwall, I'm going to have to go investigate fishing line.
Oh, it's so easy to, when you watch these old movies and you look at stuff in the background. I go down rabbit holes all the time. What did they have? What kind of technology did they have this? And you'd be surprised at some of the stuff they did have, and you'd be like, there's no way that they made this that long ago. And it turns out they actually had a version of it. It just wasn't Like we were talking about the other day, the flintlock multi-shot rifle from the 1700s. It was
Yeah.
something that they made. It just didn't make a lot of them.
Mm.
So according to what I'm looking at for plastic fishing line specifically, the kind that we're used to, it was 1938.
Nah, this is like years after this.
Yeah.
Unless they got some limited edition
Right.
like
Yeah.
exclusive.
Right, 5 years
Right.
early.
They got some spider line.
But yeah, this is pretty good CGI. I mean, you can see the outlines a bit, which is a bit weird, but other than that, still
Yeah.
aged well.
Yeah, it did. My mom used to work for Bass Pro, so I know all the brand names and stuff.
Ooh,
And Spider Line was like the best. What everybody used.
that's interesting.
He's like, oh, he is invisible. I'm like, did you not get downstairs? He's invisible.
Mm-hmm. And it's weird too, because like the way that he just controls him instantly out of pure fear, I'd maybe have ran out of the house or something. I don't know.
Right. I'd have been
And
like,
he's like,
deuces, I'm out. Come find me. And then I would just like took off, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be so awkward just walking around naked, though.
yeah.
No, I mean, he's probably chill.
And he's like, don't leave the house or I'll follow you down and kill you.
Mm-hmm. Man, like, I'd be scared.
Yeah. So
And
they-
yeah, man,
they have
like
to go.
this is where the cop comes to the lion's head, the I think it's like the commissioner or something. I keep forgetting. And so he comes here and he decides to just reprimand everyone, which I
Yeah,
find
you were all
really
drunk.
funny. And so if everyone, he's
Every
just like,
single
oh
person
yeah,
in the whole
you
town
guys
is
suck.
drunk.
You're all drunk.
And he's like, and you. And he's like, yeah, I would break my own neck to sell more alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he thinks, is that this was all like a stunt to get people to come to his pub.
Yep.
And the town was behind it, you know, to like make the town famous or something.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'd be 100% behind him with the commissioner on this, because that sounds like something that's probable.
Nowadays, they'd all just
Especially
be
if
on
it's a
TikTok.
small town. Oh yeah, for sure. They'd probably be on TikTok. They'd probably like open what's it called? Like include everyone coffee shop, something like that.
Yeah. But they'd be, you know, I'm going to live stream the Invisible Man.
Yeah.
I could just sit on the porch just like this, you know.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you, like this costume is incredible. The sunglasses are impeccable too.
Yeah.
Look at
Yeah,
that.
he's got like those late
That's cool.
1800s sunglasses on.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they should make sunglasses like these. I don't understand why they don't make sunglasses that cover the side of your eyes, like nowadays.
I used to have a pair, but it wasn't lens on the sides. It was just the front, but it did cover the sides, so it blocked out all the light.
Oh man, those are like the best. But yeah, no, it's just like annoying Kemp telling him what he wants him to do.
Yeah. And he's like, you'll wipe my feet and make sure.
Yeah, you'll even clean my nails.
Yeah.
And that's what he says, because like,
I'd have been like,
yeah,
dude, can't you do that yourself? You got arms and legs, right?
Well, think
yeah,
about
but
Right,
it.
just 'cause you're
you
invisible.
can't see,
You're
but
invisible.
can't
You'd
see
stab yourself.
Yeah.
Ah, darn it.
My thing would be like, you're going to need to make sure that you wipe really good.
Yeah.
Otherwise-
Better wipe. The Invisible Man out of toilet paper. Oh,
Oh,
no.
dude, that could be like a Scooby-Doo episode.
Yeah.
I wonder if it probably is a Scooby Doo episode.
Scooby Doo
Probably.
meets the Invisible Man, and then like the Invisible Man, there's a skit of him losing the toilet paper.
Yeah.
Oh man, Jake, the visible brown stripe.
Oh.
Oh god, nasty.
Scooby Doo and the Invisible Brown Stripe.
Yep, Miss Martin Muses
Mhm.
joined just in time. For us to talk about
Oh
Invisible
yeah.
Man not wiping correctly.
And I mean,
Hey,
this point
Teresa.
in the movie is like the entire lore dump, you know, because this is where they're telling him that he needs to be in a room like it needs to be a sunny day for him to be able to go outside and remain invisible. He can't be outside in the rain. He can't be outside in the mud. He needs to be clean. He needs to what's it called? I think he needs to be left alone for 45 minutes after eating because
You can still see the food for a
you
while.
can still see the
Yeah.
food.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like,
And he
yeah,
can't go into town
that's
because
interesting.
he'll get soot all over him.
Yeah. It's like that's super interesting, and it's a cool lore dump that they just give on the audience, but it's done in a good way because
Yeah.
well, you're trying to learn and understand his abilities.
You're learning as the audience with the character that he's telling it to.
Yeah, with Kemp, yeah.
Right.
And it's good
Yeah.
because it's probably the smartest way of exposition that they've tried to do in the entire movie.
I don't know if we mentioned or not, but when those guys were in his office before looking at all this stuff, they found that one of the ingredients he used to become invisible is some kind of flower from India, but
Mhm.
it also has like some type of narcotic effect that, alters your mind.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the book that he read about it was published in English, and it only talked about the properties of the flower that make you invisible or help that. But there was a German version that also talked about the side effects, and he
Yep.
didn't know about that when he used it.
Mhm.
So that's why he is the way he is.
Yeah.
He's
Mhm.
Yeah, this is the point of the movie where he starts to get really, really crazy.
It's like, I will
yeah,
take
he's
over
like
the world.
he's talking about like taking over the world and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna rob banks and do whatever I want.
I mean, completely outlandish Dr. Evil type of stuff, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, even if
The
you're an
only thing we
invisible
didn't get
man,
was
you could
the
never
pinky
do
to
that.
the mouth.
Yeah.
Well, what's even more outlandish, he thinks this dude's gonna be able to help him in some way,
Hmm.
like pull all this stuff
Yeah.
off.
Yep. I think that this would have been a good time to raise the question of like Kemp's relationship with Griffin's fiance, basically, you know? To
Yeah.
understand why he changes like so suddenly, apart from the fact of the explanation that they give with the flower, like it's the negative side effects and stuff like that, you know? I think that would just be better if we had a bit more. Yeah.
Beard. Yeah. It would be a better turn of events instead of just, oh, you called them. You called the police.
Yeah.
But it would give him I mean, why wouldn't he call the police? Really?
Exactly. Oh, dude, Jay, if I could become invisible, I was literally asking my dad this because we were watching the movie together, and he said he doesn't know. Dude, I know exactly what I'm gonna do if I become invisible. I'm gonna scare the shit out of my sister. It is gonna be incredible. Like the first thing I want to do is scare the crap out of someone because man, you're invisible. They literally cannot see. You could even run up to them and like have your feet make a lot of noise, and that would scare the shit out of someone.
Yeah. Right. Playing pranks on people. That's if I get invisibility, I will play pranks on everyone.
Oh, dude, imagine imagine you have like an invisible man on set for a horror movie, and so that the actors can actually have an invisible person in the scene,
Yeah.
you know, acting like a ghost or some shit like that.
So they have to go back to that.
Him taking
pub
off
to
those
get
bandages is the scariest
food.
part for me. Like just seeing that empty nose and eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, the empty nose and eyes, yeah, like that's scary.
It's almost like a scarecrow
Yeah.
kind of thing. You can
Mhm.
notice in this shot
Yeah.
that because it's a freeze frame, you can see they
Mhm.
did a little superimpose because you see the bars behind him,
Yep.
even though
Yeah.
he's wearing the full,
Yep.
robe and whatever.
I agree.
Yeah.
You can see that there has been some visual trickery at play.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Kemp
So he's like, go
leaving.
warm up the car. There's no way to warm the car up.
And it's crazy that like he goes out naked and everything. It's like, oh, give me your blanket.
Yeah.
How did I know that that was what Roman was going to be like? If I was invisible, I just fart near people and blame it on them.
Honestly, that could be a good idea.
Roman would go into all the Olive Gardens and flip like all the salad bowls over on the tables.
Yeah. Or he would just eat there because nobody would see him.
And nobody would know
That's true,
he was
yeah.
eating all the breadsticks. Yeah.
Dude,
He
he'd
would
just
just,
be,
they would
he'd
just
just be
see
in the
floating
kitchen.
blood they'd just see floating food walk past.
Yep. Why is this table always got food on it? And why is the Fifth Element always playing on the laptop there?
So yeah, this guy they're giving their testimony, and the policeman asks, how much have you had to drink?
He's like, I only had a couple.
Mhm.
And they were like, yeah, get out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, I was on my way home from lunch or to lunch. Yeah.
Yeah, he even tells them that they're going to become like the laughing stock of the country.
Yeah. And there's Walter Brennan again. I didn't notice it was him until this scene because it gives a good close up. This is the guy that got his bike stolen.
Yeah, Adam, you're right, man. It's insane.
Yeah, I was watching something. It might have been Neil deGrasse Tyson or somebody talking about it, but whoever it was talking about said that in a span of 20 years, it went from everybody used horses and there was all these industries like farriers, all this stuff in major cities for horses and infrastructure. And in 20
Mhm.
years, it was all gone
Mm-hmm.
for
Yeah,
major cities. Yeah.
The Germans in World War II were still using horse and carriage.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for a lot of the logistics. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. Man, Germans actually made a lot of roads where I live. Like, so in the south of France, at the border between France and Italy, there's a lot of roads that go up into the mountains specifically
Mm.
that were solely created by
Yeah.
by
So that they could do troop movements through that area.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's insane, and you still use those roads to today.
Well,
They're
that's
still
why.
old, like outpost buildings. I saw them a few months back when I went.
Yeah, there's roads in Alaska that go all the way up. But they were built specifically to go up and fight the Japanese on the Aleutian Island chain.
Hmm.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
yeah, and most of the Roman roads were the same way from ancient times, so they
Yeah.
could facilitate troop movement.
Oh, dude, the town where I live, there are only Roman things. Like, I literally have a Roman Colosseum down the street, an actual Roman
Bro.
Colosseum. And it's like, you go and visit the infrastructures that are over here. It's crazy. I mean, my town has so much Roman stuff that there's, like, every time you want to break down a building or dig up some land to build something on top, you have to have someone from a Roman museum come
Mhm.
by because we consistently find artifacts
Right.
Yeah.
everywhere. I
Mhm.
mean,
I
everywhere.
mean, they had an empire for a reason.
Yep.
Mhm.
And yeah, I remember walking the Appian Way, and it was like I'm just walking on the road, and it had a sign that says you're in the Appian Way. And I was like, huh, I might have been a little inebriated when I was doing that, but I remember it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Also, railroad tracks are the same width as Roman chariots
Mhm.
because that's where they got the width of a road.
Yep.
It's crazy. Except American railroad tracks, they're a little bit bigger.
Oh, that was another interesting thing. Is there were aqueducts built in the Roman times that were still it was still carrying water.
Mhm.
Oh, dude, I have an
Yeah,
aqueduct right
that's
next
crazy.
to, like 20 minutes away from where I live. Big one built by the Romans. Still works to this day, man. They still use it.
Yeah,
That's
that's what.
incredible.
Yeah, it still like sends water down and then the fountains and stuff.
It's incredible. Oh, this is the scene I was talking about with the books, man. You can see it because there's a white background.
Mhm.
Right. He wanted him. So he wanted that guy to come with him
Kemp, yeah.
because he left his important scientific notes here. So he's going to go in as invisible and throw them out the window to him.
Yep. Now they've become a ragtag duo.
Yeah. It's like he just has to mess with these people as he goes out.
Yeah, but like he decides to kill the commissioner.
That's because
Yeah.
the commissioner was like, he's not real. You guys are all crazy.
Yeah, like at this point, he's become fully crazy and is ready to take lives.
Here's where I had a problem with this. Is he going to start moving the ink thing? Like, where is he? He'd be like up against somebody if he was, unless he's squatting on the table.
I think he's squatting on the table. I honestly think he's squatting on the table.
Mhm. I do too.
I mean,
Dude, think
wasn't
about
a
it.
deal
It's
breaker
like
for me,
it's
but-
like a position of dominance, and this dude is just trying to dominate everyone.
I know he's
around
like
him.
squatting right in front of him with his
Yeah.
junk out. Yeah.
Right.
And she does her screaming. Ah!
Yeah. She gets
Yeah, they all act like there's a rat on the floor. It's
Right.
it's so
Mhm.
stupid.
I mean, taken out
Yeah.
of context, I was like, what's she doing? A table dance?
To this guy too. He's just swinging his baton back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I
Mhm.
just run out the window. I wouldn't even care about the door at that point. Out the window.
So he strangles this dude.
All you see is like, oh, God.
Yeah, and then he
Yep.
hits him with the stool.
Mhm.
Like,
I didn't even think that he
Oh.
died because I was like, this is weak. Like, he probably didn't die. There's no way you
Barely
can die.
lifted it up and he just like, bloop.
Dude, it was just like a bop on the head. I was like, what the fuck?
hey now.
But yeah, he died.
By the way,
Watch your language in front of the lady, punk!
okay. Yeah, it was like they just picked it up and lightly dropped it. I don't even think his face was in the way of it.
The other thing that you rarely see, you saw blood on the store or the innkeeper when he hit his head, but you don't really see blood in the rest of the movie, I don't think.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, you don't actually see any blood. True.
But it kind of doesn't really need it, to get its point
No.
across.
Well, I mean,
It's
you
like,
see a
and what's his-
train with hundreds of people crash. You see
Yeah.
you see the cars crash and burn up too. So there's the hard implication of death, even though you don't clearly see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, right,
And
exactly.
it's like he asked him, what was all that screaming in there? Oh, I killed the inspector. It's like, oh no.
Yeah, amateur analyst. The film is pretty good. I thought so, and
Film is good.
pretty groundbreaking for being 1933 for the types of special effects it has.
Yeah.
And for the story, it's pretty well written too. There's enough like deep stuff. It's not really surface level, so it's pretty enjoyable. Like it has rewatchability, which I think is one of the most important things in film. It's a rewatchability factor.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
There's so much stuff that gets made. You watch it one time and you were just like, eh. It was like a 5 out of 10, and I'll never see it again.
Invisible Man
I don't think it
slays
actually
policeman.
says. I don't think it actually says if he's an inspector or not, does it?
Yeah, it just says policeman.
Yeah, policeman. My thing is how much time had elapsed? Did they really get the news out that quick?
Well, that's the thing is that there is basically zero passage of time in the entire movie.
Yeah.
You never get the sense of passage of time. So unless they say there's like months, weeks, or something, that's it. Because you remember at the beginning, there's the scene where they ask him for the rent, and they've already established like, oh, this is months later. It's like
Right.
we
At
didn't
a
know
bare
this.
minimum, he's been there however long it takes to rack up a late fee for a week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, I will sleep in here and you sleep across the hall.
Jay, I guess you're talking about Jurassic Park.
I know that first one still holds up so well.
Mm-hmm. It does.
Yeah. Yep, it does.
Man, this is pretty good VFX too right now coming up when he takes off the mask in front of the mirror. This is so good.
Yeah.
Right, because it has a mirror shot in it too. So I don't know how it would make it more technically difficult to do.
Look at that, man. You can see it from the front and the back.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Madness. 1933, ladies and gentlemen.
And
Yeah.
they do it better than some movies do today.
Oh,
And this-
Marvel.
Yeah. And this too, you can't see his feet or his
Mhm.
hands, and
You know what?
crazy.
I forgot to look up something real quick.
Man, the VFX is really, really good.
Yeah.
Oh man, look at all this. Yeah, so this
So,
is
yeah,
the
they have the
commissioner.
newspaper out before they even move the body.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that was fast.
It's magical.
Yeah.
Right? They just
See, that's why the policeman didn't freak out when he saw an invisible man.
he sees
Yeah,
weird
dude.
stuff all the
Magic.
time, man.
Weird stuff all the time. Like at least it wasn't werewolves today. Boom.
Yeah. And he's like, this guy, like, not holding anything back. He's like, he could even be standing here now.
Yep, that's true. That's one thing that I really like about the latter part of the Invisible Man after like he becomes crazy is that there's that constant fear that's raised by everyone that maybe he might be here. And of course, the film also presents it that way because he does say that he wants to hunt and kill down Kemp. And so that even if he goes to like the ends of the earth, he'll finally find Kemp and kill him, you know? So
Yeah.
eventually
And he-
when you see what happens, you're like, oh man, then he really was following him everywhere, you know? So it just
Yeah.
confirms that maybe he was there this entire time.
And he almost gives the if it bleeds, we can kill it line. It's like he may be invisible,
Right?
but he's still just a man.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
The Invisible Man.
This
Roman.
is great. Yeah, the you could instead of puffing up your covers and stuff to make it look like you're sleeping there, just do this to your pillow.
Hmm.
It's like, oh, and
Yeah,
this
that's
too.
where you
This
get
is
the news.
yeah. It's like there's an invisible man. And everybody's
And that's
like,
what I
let's
said
get out of
before.
here.
It's like it's a personal story wrapped in a big world, you know?
Yeah,
Because you're getting the reactions of everyone, and you don't know if it's around the city or the entire country.
right.
Sorry.
It's okay.
So they're from what I'm reading, they said that the movie cost $328,000 to make in
At the time.
at the time, right? So if I put in the calculator, $328,000 in 1933 is worth $7,512 today, U.S.
Oh
inflation.
wow.
That's still low for
That's extremely low. That's like
Yeah.
not even the budget for the advertising.
right.
I bet some of
Yeah.
these big like MCU productions, just like the food and lodging alone would probably cost that much.
No, not
Right.
like
Yeah.
even more.
Well,
Probably.
hold on.
Yeah.
Oh, that was 1915. Okay. What's 9 million? Uh,
Imagine if people nowadays could make something of this
According to
scale.
this,
Or
$1 in 1933 is equivalent to $22.66 today.
Damn.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a lot.
imagine though if people nowadays took this budget and actually tried to make a good
You couldn't
movie.
make diddly squat for 7 mil.
I
Yeah.
mean, A24 makes movies for 7 million. All of their movies are either 4 to 5 million. I mean, even Talk to Me, the new horror movie, that one's 4 million. And in
Right.
total with the marketing is 7 million. So like it cost them 7 in total. It's
Yeah.
like, I mean, fair enough, it's doable. But
mean-
it's just that you rarely see low budget movies nowadays anyways.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean,
And
people do shorts on YouTube that are better than some of the stuff that comes out in the theater.
And I wonder comparatively how much the budget of this movie compared to other movies of this. You know what I mean? Because for us it's high quality, but maybe for them it was high quality too, but it was still a horror movie. You know what I mean? It like wasn't
Yeah,
Mhm.
I see what
supposed
you
to
mean.
be a big production blockbuster like the Cecil B. DeMille thing where he built that whole giant Egyptian set or whatever in the 20s.
Yeah.
I think that thing was supposed to be. Yeah, Adam Gray is saying King Kong was 675,000,
Damn.
which K in 1933, which I can see. So double the budget.
Yeah.
But even then, that's still only 14 million. Like
Yeah,
what?
14 million is cheap.
How in the hell are we spending 300 million on movies these days?
Yeah, but I mean, now it's VFX. Before it was like how would you do it?
Right.
Before it was basically editing and people doing miniatures.
Yeah.
So miniatures back then were cheaper because they were more commonplace. Because even you look at kids back then, they all had, a miniature boat that they build or some stuff like that, in comparison to today, where miniatures are an expensive luxury for normal people and are also an expensive luxury for studios. So
Right.
VFX is just cheaper or more expensive if you don't know how to handle your VFX,
There might be a bunch of other costs included, like insurance and all kinds
It's
of other
mostly
stuff.
it's mostly actor pay now, probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because
Oh,
actor
that-
pay is a big
Yeah.
factor.
Yeah.
I mean, some people get paid
Absolutely.
20 million per movie. Imagine if you
Yep.
want to have a 9 million budget dollar like movie, you'd never even get that actor.
No.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. All of them's got to be either really cheap actors or no names that are trying to bust in. Yeah.
Yo.
So he calls Clarence and tells him that he's there. And he's even like, "No, this is just between you and me. Don't tell anybody." And he immediately calls the police after this phone call.
Yeah. Dude, I would too, because he was scared.
Bro, it's like, I'm gonna die. There's an invisible man.
This shot kind of bothered me a little bit because he just gives it straight pan, no change of
doesn't care.
expression. Like, oh, he's invisible and he's been killing people.
Yeah, that's it. He doesn't care. And I mean, Atom Gray, like in the chat, you say that there's stop motion in miniatures, but I don't know, man. Stop motion is expensive. Look at Leica Studios; like they haven't made a movie in a while because stop motion is
Yeah.
expensive.
Like,
They make
Roman.
a
Have a good
movie
one,
every
Roman. Hope you feel
5
better.
to 6 years. But yeah, Roman, cheers, man.
Yeah, we get this little montage of people calling in saying how to get the Invisible Man.
Yeah, Coraline, yeah.
Just get a net. Whew.
Yeah, everyone was basically
did
saying
it.
like, "Oh, the Invisible Man is here. The Invisible Man is here." They were all the boys who cried wolf.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, some of the people were like, "I've got a good idea on how you capture him."
Yeah,
What you do is you
because
get
of
some, yeah, and some of them were like, you put a bunch of paint on the ground or tar, put tar on
I
everywhere.
mean, they aren't
Yeah.
wrong.
True, tar is a smart way.
Yeah,
All of the above.
True, just do everything, man.
Yeah.
Put wet paint
I think
everywhere on the ground.
and glass. Those two.
Yeah.
that's what
That's
I
like
was
the
saying. Like,
best
if you
one.
know he's in a
Right.
building, you just put a bunch of crushed glass running outside. He ain't getting out of there. Not in
Nope.
bare feet, he ain't.
It's like,
Oh man,
it's
look
like,
at him.
why
He
are
looks like
you
a
Mummy.
up?
zombie.
Where's my mummy?
Man, my tummy was upset, and
Oh, look at
perhaps it
that
was a bit of
face.
cheese or some mustard.
But yeah, like this where like he just gets scared shitless at this point.
Yeah.
He does have a pretty pimp robe on though. Look at that with all like the
Mhm.
geometric angles and stuff.
Yeah. It's like, you call the police. And he's like, no, it's not the police. It's. I won't kill you this time.
This time.
Hey, Jay. Got 2 J's in the chat.
Yo, Jay.
Jay.
But yeah, so he informed his fiance that he was there. So his fiance and her dad are on the way. Then after that, you've also got the cops on the way. Man, it's pretty
Yeah.
interesting. And at this point, like you can tell that he's gone completely off the edge of insanity. And
Mhm.
it's crazy because, like the Hulk, his fiance is the only person that like was shown to be able to try and calm him down. She doesn't
Yeah.
succeed
Mhm.
100%, but she tries to at least, because
Like he
they
doesn't
do
throw
talk.
her
Yeah.
down a flight of stairs.
Yeah.
Mhm.
She's like in this scene. The sun's getting real low.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. And it's more like how would I say this? Like, and it's more like at the end, it's not that he's insane, but he wants to be with her and take over the world so that he can offer it to her. So he's basically just being a romantic dude.
Mhm,
Right.
right. Yeah, he wants the whole point. She's like, "Why did you do this?" He's like, "I want to be remembered, and I want to be, have something great, and to be able to give you all these things."
Yeah.
Um, so he has like good intentions. Just they're just kind of twisted up, you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Check out my awesome shades."
Have the
The
best
chicks dig 'em.
sunglasses this
Yeah.
century, man.
Yes, sir.
This would be if it wasn't for the craziness, it'd be a perfect man for the feminists of today. Invisible.
Right? We shall take over the world together.
Oh man, and yeah, he's just a romantic dude. That's it.
Yeah.
What every woman wants, a psychotic, evil, mastermind romantic.
Moo-ha-ha-ha.
Well, she must be really into him if she, doesn't mind that he's basically looks like a bug right here.
She wants to help him and bring him back.
Mm-hmm.
The invisible pimp. No.
Invisible pimp.
And he just needs a hat with a feather in it.
Yeah, just be, yo, what's good, shorty?
And these motions he does too.
Yeah,
like-
it's
Yeah,
so,
like these
so
camera angles. Right. See,
exaggerated.
like now he's giving his monologue about how he's going to take over the world, and
Mhm.
Yeah.
and think about the time. This shot is almost like Mussolini or something.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Or
Where
a
he's got
famous
the
painter.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, yep.
Especially,
Yeah, see, look.
especially this movie's like,
Yeah, see this that pose right there. That is
Yeah,
100%
looking at the
Mussolini,
moon.
Mhm.
where he would do that. El Duce, he would put his arms like that and raise his head up like
yeah.
that right there. Yep.
Hey, look, he's doing an Ahsoka.
Oh.
Exactly. He's like, huh, is that a helmet I see over there?
And you know, like
Helmets.
he
Ah!
acts this scene theatrically, but it works for the tone
Oh
that the
yeah,
movie's
it
trying to
does.
sell and the way that he is too.
Right. It's to really show how kind of over the top he's gone.
It's like the stereotypical cartoonish villain, but
Yeah,
it's done in a realistic way.
right.
I've lost my mind, but fabulously.
Yep, Jay's right, man. Invisible Man is the highest kill count of any Universal monster
Yeah.
ever. It's crazy, man. It's
The
such a
Mummy, though.
crazy fact. No. It's the Invisible Man.
Even
Because he
Invisible
ran
Man.
that train off the railroad, off the
Yeah.
tracks.
The train. That was it. Like in one go, he got like 100 plus.
So he sees the policeman closing in. He's like, "You have to go." And then
I
he starts
stripped down naked.
Mm-hmm.
naked.
Time to get naked, man. That's it.
Oh my god, it's a party.
Yeah, and I was like, it's crazy the amount of cops that come and surround them. It's comical the amount of cops
Yeah.
that there are.
They must have gotten every cop from every town in like a
Mhm.
100-mile radius
Mm-hmm.
in order to get that many there together.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And they
For
hold
sure.
hands and sing Kumbaya.
Yeah, because
Well, because they do say that I think I don't remember correctly. They say either 10,000 or 100,000 across the nation are looking for the
it's
Invisible Man.
after this point is when it goes up to 100,000. Like when he's
Oh.
because he hasn't like run trains off the tracks yet and stuff.
True,
Yeah.
true.
So
Right.
they're like, hey, we got him. We're all gonna hold hands. He can't get past us. And then
And then he just gets past them.
right,
Yeah.
exactly.
That's where he
Leaps out
comes
of a
up to
window
Cam.
naked because
he's
I'm
like-
invisible.
Tomorrow night at 10 o'clock, I will kill you.
Right. He's
Yep.
like, you screwed me over. You're trying to steal my girl. So yeah, 10 o'clock tomorrow night, I'm coming to kill you. And this dude's like,
He's like, he's here.
he's here. Yeah. And then
This guy's like,
this
oh
guy's
no.
traumatized.
he punched me in the gut or something.
Yeah. This guy gets his nose pinched. It goes from nose pinching to killing some people to making a train go off the rails.
And he's like, somebody was like, oh, help me. And he's still holding hands, but his feet are being pulled. And then so somehow he got behind him. And he knocks this guy's hat off.
Yeah.
And then he's like, hey, everybody hold hands while I go get my hat.
And I think it's funny.
Kumbaya.
I think it's funny. This guy, the leader of all these policemen, is shorter than everybody.
Yeah, well, that's another trope. That's how it is.
Yeah.
And this big policeman with the mustache, he's in a couple of other scenes where he's like,
Yeah.
I don't know how we're gonna catch him. And
Yep. Yeah, so they basically just get beaten up by him, and
then he
runs
rips that-
away.
he rips that dude's pants off and he's running around with just the pants on.
And yeah,
Scaring
he scares
people.
the grandma.
I stole your pants. Oh my god, I'm such a villain.
I love that
Yeah,
part.
see right here. He's grabbing that guy's feet.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
pulls
And they're
them.
like,
pretty
"Whoa,
good
what's going
effects
on?"
too.
Red Rover didn't work quite
Yeah.
right.
Well, here's my problem with it. Like, that he's on the other end of that, so just try to tackle him. You know?
Mhm. Yeah, just run after him.
Yeah, exactly. So boom, he goes shoot, and the pants come off. Then
And
this
then
guy has
I
the
love
sense
this part.
to wear long johns.
The poor
Right.
woman running down the street, getting chased by a pair of pants.
hmm
That has to be weird. It's like I was chased by a pair of pants today. What?
I'd run.
That's what happens
so
when you
hard.
don't do the laundry.
The laundry comes after you.
So this is where they're like I can't remember what they were talking about here. How they were gonna,
Like they were talking about how they were gonna protect him because he was saying that he said he's gonna come and kill me, so he wants protection from the cops, and so they know that since he's gonna come back for him, they want to set up a trap to get the Invisible Man.
Right. And they're trying to get out. They know he knows who the person is.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, now they know that it's Arthur. Like they know that it's Jack Griffin, and so they just want him like He just wants to be safe. Yeah, this is the scene where he goes crazy. It's like, come on, he's coming after me. You gotta protect me. You know, I don't want to die.
Yeah, that's true, Adam or Gray.
Yeah, I like 20,000 Leagues. It's cool.
Mm-hmm.
So he finally tells him who the Invisible Man is.
Mm-hmm.
I am the Invisible Man.
I am Spartacus. No, sorry. So this must be the like police commissioner of everybody.
Yeah, I think he's like the head maybe of like the sector. And yeah, the stuff like this is weird, where he just goes to a random place and strangles a few people and
Yeah.
throws them off a cliff.
Well, that's what he was saying to that other guy. Is he like, we'll kill people so that they know how powerful we are, and we'll kill important people, and we'll kill not important people, so that everybody's afraid.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's all random. Like you don't
Right,
know who's
yep.
going to strike
And then
next.
here's where he does the train.
I love that it's kind of like a Joker in The Dark Knight. He's like, and there's a special surprise for the train people.
Right.
Yeah, he just like goes back. Yeah, kills this guy because he throws the lamp on the back of his head, and then just takes over the train, changes the track.
Right. So the train can see at a distance that it changed, but there's no way to stop it from because it's going too fast. And off the rail it goes, or it rear-ended at another train, or something.
And he just goes in this random bank.
Oh, dude, like I'm surprised that he didn't do this earlier because he did need money. So,
yep,
right. He should have just gone to the bank, stole some money, and then paid the people. Problem solved. Movie wouldn't have even happened. He just robs the bank, pays the people, and everybody leaves him alone.
He does throw all the money out there to create a like a diversion.
Yeah, now they're talking about like where can he be? He can be here right now with us. It's like, yeah, the fear is real. The time machine, Melvin. I made like a presentation on the time machine when I was in high school, which was not too long ago either. So it was pretty fun. I like the time machine. So
and the Rod Taylor movie was good.
I like the movie too.
Yeah, old Weena was looking good in that one. Not to get off topic, but yeah, she was looking pretty fine.
But yeah, so at this point, the cops and everything, they just don't want to try and catch him, and she's basically just longing for her man.
My idiot invisible boyfriend.
I'm sure the police will try to take him alive. That's what you think. And he's like, now what was that experiment I was doing yesterday?
Yeah, and like
that's what he comes across as. Like he's, this is just a side thing, and there's like more important things with his work going on.
Yeah, he doesn't care. It's weird. He's detached, but it's like a whimsical way that he's detached, which is weird too, because it's kind of like he's a fantastical element in something that tries to be realistic.
Yeah. And then make sure he's not in the room by using a net.
Either that, or I thought they were gonna practice like how they're gonna catch him.
No, they were just like sweeping the room.
Oh, okay. Because there was this.
I would have just thrown up like sugar or flour or something. Just
sure. Because like this, you could probably just like climb up a wall or something.
This part was weird. He's like, everyone have a seat, sit on the ground, and we're gonna play Duck Duck Goose.
Story time.
Yes.
Gather round.
Yeah. And this dude's like, wait a second, you're telling me I'm screwed.
Yeah, they just give out the plan that that they're gonna try and catch him. So I mean, it's a pretty cool plan.
Yeah.
But it does the plan, like how complicated it is, it does imply that Jack had needed to be in the room with them to understand fully why everything was going on. So it does like bring in that terror at the end when you realize that he was probably in the room with them, even though they did the sweeps and everything.
He could have been hiding under the desk.
Or
True.
just up against the wall.
Mm-hmm. Just shadow stepping.
Yeah. And it's like, yes, we're going to use you as bait. And he's like, then we'll sneak you out of the building in the back, and you can get in your car and go wherever you want.
Yep.
Run away.
So yeah, he says, okay, we're going to use these spray paint to spray anything that moves that we think is there. And they like put dirt up on top of the, fence wall. Yeah, it's like, he could have just followed them into the place though, too.
Easily.
Without being in the room.
Yeah, like you can easily maybe catch him or something, but man, it's just insane because the sheer amount of cops that are present, even if you are invisible, you still make noise. You still make noise when you walk, you still make noise when you run, when you breathe. It's pretty hard to evade all of these.
When you're in that state of panic, though, are you actually going to hear? Like when you're...
Because you are alert looking for an invisible man, so the only thing that you'd have to do is hear sounds without like seeing anyone,
I know if he had a bunch of Taco Bell before he went out,
But what scene is this?
Yeah, so they're sneaking him out of the back of the police station.
Oh, yeah.
Which I would have checked the car first before just shoving him in.
Oh, I would have checked everything.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he finally makes it in the car. And surprise, surprise.
Poor cat.
Meow.
He's like... it just gets covered. Poor thing.
Abuse!
I think it's a smart idea using the paint and stuff, but damn. A lot of planning.
They could have used syrup or something, but probably not. They probably used paint.
Oh, back then? Yeah, they probably took that cat out and buried it in a hole right after the movie got filmed.
Probably didn't care.
It's the cat. And he's like, I'm out of here. Nope,
you're not.
You only thought you were.
When I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
Yeah, boy.
Oh, this was also interesting. This next part is, I was like, man, Hollywood was already doing a car goes off the cliff and blows up in a giant fireball back then,
Mm-hmm.
Obviously it makes it more dramatic, but
there's some old slapstick stuff that's silent. That's a lot of this kind of stuff.
Yeah, but in those, they were really driving cars off of cliffs, and the guys were really jumping out of them right before they went off. And so they don't do the whole fireball thing. They'll actually show like a real wreck.
It's like a Wild Wild West.
Right. And I'm trying to think of a movie where there was a movie, it was like a Civil War movie or something, where they really trashed two trains together. And it was the last time they were able to do it because they were like, whoa, that's out of control. You can't do that.
That's a little much.
But it took two real trains and crashed them together on purpose.
And he's like, I hope your car's insured.
Like, what?
I don't know if they insured cars back then. Maybe they did. And you're like, bye.
Yep, gone. Oh man, good accident too.
Car insurance was invented in 1897. So yeah,
Yep.
Yeah,
Could've
for a
had
while.
insurance.
Yeah, insurance.
Had to insure those steam-powered cars back then.
Oh man, it's like all the
A
cops
lot of these
meeting
guys
again.
look like they're about to fall asleep too.
Yep.
Mhm.
It's like, and this is the part where you get the revelation of the snowfall, and I was even
Yeah.
surprised that like it is a smart thing to do because it'll leave tracks no matter where you want to go, you know. But
Mhm.
it's just the sheer magnitude of area that you have to cover to know where he is. It's crazy.
Mhm.
So I do
You'd also
find that
have to do some
it's
sort of
sort of
martial
like,
law.
yeah, and so I feel like the fact that the farmer just finds him, especially that it's a farmer from like the town that they were in at the beginning, I
Mhm.
find it like a bit of a plot convenience, to end it
Yeah.
quickly.
I mean, he did chase the farmer's wife around just wearing pants.
Ah. It's like, I'll just take a nap right here.
Nap.
Yeah, this guy's funny. It's like he pokes the hay. My hay is breathing.
Mhm. Yeah, and it's crazy. And yeah, so like that's how they find him. And these movies, the thing that I really appreciate about old movies is that I'm sure if you look at the runtime right now, there's probably only like 4 minutes or 5 minutes left. Yeah. So they managed to wrap stuff up incredibly quick back then.
When I was watching this earlier, it's like, wow, there's only 7 minutes left. Wow.
Mm-hmm. But they still managed to keep it poignant, It's not just
Yeah.
wrapped up and gone. It's like, we can end the story.
It's not an afterthought, just end it already. But
Mhm.
it's pretty well put together.
Yep.
It's like, my hay is breathing.
My hay. Sure, my hay is breathing. What? Have you had some of that moonshine?
Oh man, this is where all the cops are just bicycling in the rain.
Right. And it's this point now in the story and the trying to get him, and he's killed so many people that they're like totally believe anything that somebody said. Before they'd be like, that guy's an old drunk. Now they're like, all right, let's roll out with like
Mhm.
100,000 people.
And they're like, don't leave any footprints
Yep.
so we can follow his.
And they said that he'll get a reward after.
Yeah, it was something like 1,000 pounds, which was a
Mhm.
crazy amount of money back then.
And
Man,
he's
look
like,
at the
I could use a new
manpower.
barn, a new house.
You look at the manpower that they brought in. It's crazy. I wonder what they used this fake snow back then.
Probably
Feathers.
cotton.
Yeah, but cotton would be flammable. So with the
Yeah.
lights, that wouldn't be good.
I think it'd be like feathers, cut up feathers and stuff.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe they just
then-
didn't care about fire safety back then.
Yeah. Yeah, and then
the
add
shine.
a
Mhm.
hot light like that.
Yeah. Until the mid 1920s, cotton was the most popular snow substitute.
Really?
Jesus.
It was a
Man.
hazard on set, but
Well, yeah, like
Uh,
one spark and that's it, man.
I think they probably
So
dampened it with some sort of spritzer or something.
Hopefully.
So in today's money, that 1,000 pounds would be 88,257 pounds.
Damn,
Wow.
for
So that'll
finding
buy you a
one
new
dude.
barn.
Oh,
Although
that'll buy you a house.
with 88,000 pounds, not today. It won't.
Nah, not today.
Yeah.
No.
Maybe in 2008. Yeah, probably.
Mm.
I know. They were like, well, we make you a small shed instead.
So, yep, that's how they find him. That's a smart way to find your criminal too.
So what got me was I was like, why is there no blood? Then I was like, wait, the blood would be invisible too, unless
Yeah.
it's like just his skin. So
Hmm.
that made sense.
Yeah, because they do say that he's see through completely. Because even when he eats, you can
Yeah.
see the food, which means that like his blood is probably
Yeah,
invisible
all the
too.
fluids would have to be invisible too.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how they did the footprints.
I think what they did was they had like a cutout, and then they put all the snow over it, and then they could drop it down, and it would just fall down in there. So
Yeah.
that's
Hmm.
very that track right there is extreme powder. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
super fine powder.
Yeah.
And as they
And then they-
drop the thing down pneumatically or however they did with like string or something, it just fell in.
Yeah. And then they probably had like a blanket or something that they could pull and make it look like he fell.
Yeah, that's the same thing. They had like
Yeah.
like something they could just pull down. Right. There's
Yeah,
like
you can tell that it's not really the ground because of the way like Claude Rains falls, like it bounces back.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're probably
It's
because they're
like-
on a stage. There's probably literally a gap under there. There's the dude underneath it
True.
pulling on something.
Kind of like what they did with the waiters in Who Framed Roger Rabbit. You know, the penguin waiters. They just had
Yeah.
people with sticks under the seats.
I would hate to be the guy that's like trying to feel where the top of the body is, and
Yeah,
like,
oh, didn't mean to touch
that's
that.
oh, that's not the that's
Yeah,
not
did he
that's
fall? Did he fall face down or not?
Yeah. Oh,
like I don't want to touch it. Do you want to? I don't want to touch it because I don't know where I'm gonna be touching.
Oh, dude, you don't know if like once you touch the body, it's just your fingers in his mouth. Ugh.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's like the doctor just informing him he doesn't have much time left.
Yeah, they said the bullet went through both lungs. I'm not sure how they can. I mean, they just feel around. Is that what they?
I don't. Yeah. Maybe they injected his veins with something so they could see.
Maybe he shows up on X-ray.
Movie magic, movie magic.
yeah.
Like if you X-ray him, it'll actually show up on the X-ray.
Hey, he's wearing a white coat. It's a doctor.
It's
Okay,
a
that's
doctor.
enough.
Yeah, movie magic.
That's how you know it's a doctor. He's
Looks
wearing
like
a
that.
white coat, guys.
He's like he'll start to take shape. How does he know he's going to take shape too? You know, he's going to come back.
Somehow they know that the drug wears off after he's dead, or something. I
Yeah,
think
that's just weird.
That's
Like,
It's a
that's
plot
just movie.
device.
Yeah, plot device, movie, magic.
yeah, and then they just bring in the fiance, and yeah, that's pretty good. It's a pretty good shot, and even when he reverts back to himself, I do like the effects. They're pretty good as well.
Mhm.
right.
They
this part
they
was
remind me
really
of
cool.
13 Ghosts.
Yeah, how it's a skull, but look, it's
Mhm.
got musculature and it's very anatomically accurate.
Yep.
Mhm.
And you get to see him finally, and you're like, oh, that's what he looks like.
Claude Rains,
Yeah.
good looking man.
Yeah, who is
I
this
mean-
Claude Rains?
It was all right.
He looks like Napoleon.
Yeah. He would have been good as Napoleon.
Yeah, would have
You
cast
just needed
him.
the weird mustache.
It's a
And there it is.
universal picture.
Back when they actually had good content. Oh my god.
No, yeah. No, it's like what Jurassic Park with Jurassic World. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Fast and Furious too, I think. Man.
And there it is.
The Invisible Man.
Mm.
Like
For a split
1933.
second, I was like, Claude Rains, did he play Grand Moff Tarkin?
Oh no.
If he did, that'd be like, oh my god.
No, that was Peter
why
Cushing.
have you fallen so far?
That was Peter Cushing. Which
Mhm.
I mean, if you think about it, they with him and Alec Guinness, they got some powerhouse people
Oh,
to
yeah.
be in that movie.
Oh yeah, for
Mhm.
sure. 100%.
So yeah, overall, I liked this movie. I thought it was good. I wasn't like bored watching or anything. But I like older movies. I like looking at the stuff in the background, like what the furniture looked like. And
Yep.
there was when the kids were in the school, I don't know if you showed that slide. That was like an
Yeah.
OG radio they were listening to. It had like the big like phonograph speaker and this weird antenna, and I was like,
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
had to be one of the very first commercially available radios
Oh yeah,
ever,
yeah.
because that thing looked like some Frankenstein
And it
stuff.
even had
Mhm.
the two old people sitting with headphones on.
Oh yeah, that's another one. Yeah, I think
Yep.
that might have been a
They were early streamers.
yep.
Right?
There you go, rocking the
Our
headphones.
forefathers.
Yep.
Yes. So yeah, I thought there was a lot of stuff like that in this movie. That is like, it's like placing Mac computers in a movie or something.
Yeah,
The
Mhm.
so
time, you
ahead
know?
of its time, yeah. Like
Right.
you can just tell it's good when you watch like period movies like that, stuff from the 30s, 40s, 50s, because it just manages to it's one of the only ways that you can time travel,
Mhm.
actually
Yeah,
time travel
Right.
and see all this stuff. Because all the extra stuff that you just see in the background is probably just stuff of the time that doesn't exist anymore or hasn't existed for
Right.
30,
Right?
40, or 50 years.
Right. Or it only exists at your grandmother's house.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
And it's funny too. I'll watch these old movies and think a lot of the scenes in them would be very different today. Stuff you couldn't do
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
today
Right.
because of cell phones. Just
Oh,
that
right.
one
Like
Mhm.
one
certain plot
thing.
lines that would never work now because you can just text somebody
Yeah,
or Google it.
right.
And
Or
right.
film like, oh, there's the Invisible Man
Right.
footprints. There he
Yeah,
goes.
he'd be
Yeah,
everywhere.
there's the
Yeah.
pants running down
Yep.
the street.
Ah,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
my pants are on the
But
floor.
but then everybody be like, "Oh, it's just Photoshop,"
Yep.
and
Mhm.
Yeah,
it's
who's
deep
Photoshop?
fake or whatever.
True, true, true.
But
Yeah,
just but also you look at stuff and you're like, "Wow, they had that back then." So think about it. Like the telephone, 1870s, the light bulb, 1870s, the phonograph, records, radio, combustion engines, all these kinds of things. Stuff we have these days, they had them back then. They were just newer and more, not as like well put
Prevalent.
together, as prevalent, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you also look
right.
at at old stuff and you're like, why did that go away?
Right?
Why it was so
Yeah,
good back then,
They changed it because it was like more accessible now, or
Right.
more like, for example, instead of having an iPod, now you have your iPhone because
Mhm.
you can
Mhm.
do more stuff with it and it's more accessible and more compact.
Well,
So
I also think a lot of it has to do with the consumer culture where they're like, well, we don't need this thing to last 50 years anymore. We want it to only last two. So you got to buy a new one because
mm,
it's going to break
right,
on you.
right.
And so
And
they,
two,
they,
even a building, we will back then they would have, you know, rebuilt the building and maybe used old parts from the old building if it burned down. But now they just, if there's something wrong with the building, they just tear it down and rebuild it because it's cheaper.
Mhm.
mm,
right. Yeah. They'd build stuff in brick and it would be built to last. Now everything is wood,
Yeah.
you know, and which you built in wood back then too. But now everything is like prefab and cheaply put together kind of
Well,
stuff.
even, high quality, hardwood houses are still standing today
Hmm. Right.
yeah,
from colonial time period.
Oh yeah,
true.
I
So,
would put one of those houses against anything they built modern right now.
oh yeah, yeah,
Right?
Yeah. I mean, granted, the modern stuff might have a little bit more efficient insulation in it, but
Mhm.
that'd be about it.
Pros and
Oh,
cons.
and safety features and like actual standards for wiring.
yeah.
But beyond that, um, but yeah, it's always just intriguing watching these older movies and then helping to have other people get exposed to it. You know what I mean? And seeing like it wasn't all like oh, I don't want to watch a movie from the 30s, it's going to suck because it's not going to be any good. But you also see that a lot of the story through lines and how people reacted to things are things that you can really identify with. They're timeless, kind of like certain stories that resonate through time, and you go thousands of years back and you can still connect with the what's happening in those
Right,
stories,
yeah.
people's
Mm,
feelings, and this was be epic and not epic and whatever. um
And
and
I like watching older movies. You get a snapshot of what it was like in that time.
And also,
Right?
you might be seeing the first time an idea was actually articulated, and now it's been remade and remade and remade and remade and remade and re-envisioned and
Yeah,
made for a
Sure.
modern
Mhm.
audience. Whereas you see the first time it happened, and you can think, "Wow, imagine being in the theater watching this thing for the first." It's like Jurassic Park, the first one. You know
yeah,
what I
Mhm.
mean? Seeing that. But if you go far enough back, they had the 50s stop motion dinosaur movies,
Mhm.
Land
True.
Before Time, and
yeah.
all that kind of stuff. So it's very rare to get like a brand new story that no one's ever told before. Because even look at Star Wars, you still had like Edgar Burroughs' Princess of Mars series and that whole thing, which they made into the movie John Carter, which I think is criminally underrated. I like that movie, but still.
Yeah, me too.
Um, anyway, uh, it's just nice to look back at those things and see how they were.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I agree.
And also, what did people eat back then? Because how were they so skinny?
Beans.
Beans and
That was
toast.
it.
Yeah,
Mhm. They also walked a lot more.
yeah.
Yeah, biked around a lot more. Yeah, it's weird
True.
getting to the age where you can say, "Back in my day."
Mhm.
Back in my day.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Back in my day.
Yeah, when we had we had to walk up the hill in the snow both ways to get the iPhone 5.
Mhm. I
Yeah,
remember when an MP3 wasn't just a file; it was a music player.
yeah,
I had
yeah.
I had to store phone numbers in my head.
Yes. I remember getting an MP3 player, and I was like, "This is the thing."
Yeah,
And
me
then the
too. It's like,
iPod came out, and I was like,
oh, this is awesome. And then my
Yeah.
brother uses it and accidentally drops it in his coffee. It's like, no.
or like a CD player that if you even stepped wrong, it skipped, and then the
Oh
CD was
yeah. Well, you
forever
had to get
ruined.
you had to get the ones, the more modern ones, so you could like flip them around and upside down or whatever, and jog with them,
Mhm.
and it wouldn't do.
Y-
Because they had
Yeah,
then they came out with the mini disc, and you could like put it on your arm or whatever.
Yes, that
Yeah.
was
yeah.
so cool.
True.
I remember going on vacation driving, and I have to hold my CD player the right way so it doesn't skip. It's like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, Adam. The
hilarious.
movies used to come in the mail back when Netflix was like a brand new thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I remember people like, this whole Netflix thing, it's never gonna take off. You know,
Whoa.
Redbox. What's Redbox?
Yeah.
I could remember thinking that. Oh, it's a vending machine with movies in it. That's not gonna. And here we are
Well,
today.
yeah. Well, now, yeah, those are dead now because
Yep.
Yeah.
unless you live in a place that has no bad internet connection, that might be the only reason that you would need that. But you know,
I've
it
I,
all
still
I
has
was
seen
their.
some Red Boxes
reading
around.
something. I think it was Beetlejuice was like one of the first movies that
Beetlejuice
Netflix.
was the first one that they ever shipped, ever.
Yeah, right.
Yep. It was
Was-
Beetlejuice.
That's funny.
Yep.
Well, guys, it's been a good one. Thanks for coming on and talking about
Yeah.
this great old
Well,
movie.
thanks for the invite, man.
Yeah.
A pleasure
was
to
fun.
stream with you guys again. A pleasure to
Yeah.
stream with you, Jacob. Pleasure to stream with you, Shieldwall, and a pleasure to meet you on Untamed Mando.
Pleasure to meet you too.
Yeah, it's great. This has been a really good stream. Hopefully, it's been that way for the chat too. Lots of good input from the chat. Lots
Yep.
of good info.
Love you,
Talking
chat.
about the movies and stuff. Yeah, awesome.
Anybody have any just last quick thoughts on it?
Claude
I wish
Rains
they
is
made
good.
more movies like this.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really wish they did.
Yeah. So it. Anybody got anything they want to plug? Start with Shieldwall.
On Thursday, I'm going to be on Roman of the Empire's channel, and we're going to be doing the movie The Prophecy. It's the 1997, or yeah, it's the newer one, not the 1979 Mutant Bear one. Although I'm going to try to get him to review that just
Yes,
because it
yes.
keeps coming up.
I would like to see that.
Mhm.
And I bet it's awesome. I bet it's awesomely bad. But yeah, this the movie that we're going to be reviewing, the Prophecy. It's got a Christopher Walken in it, so it's going to be good just because he's in it. You know,
Yeah.
Roman
Chris-
can Yeah,
Christopher
1995. Thanks,
Walken.
Beard. Yeah, Christopher. Yeah, he can do the voice.
Yes.
But
Yes.
yeah, and Uninspired Reviewer, is great being on stream with you again.
Oh, for sure, man. Same
yeah,
here.
Yep.
All right. Uninspired, what do you got?
Thank you guys for having me again. And
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, man, I've got a new video coming out in about 2 to 3 days. And then after that, I've got another one next week. And then to finish the month, I've got my Scream retrospective on Scream 1, 2, and 3. So, yep, it's going to be good for the videos. And yeah, I haven't posted in a while, so it's going to be nice. And in terms of a live stream, I have my show, The Uninspired Hour or so, on Sunday this week. And we're doing Kill Bill Volume 1 in honor of, I think it's 20th anniversary. That is today, actually. So
Nice.
yeah, we're doing Kill Bill Volume 1. We've got some good guests. And yeah, instead of it being on Saturday, it's going to be on a Sunday because Dark Hour has to do something on Saturday. So we just switched it by a day. But yeah, it's going to be at 1 p.m. EST. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Except that on Monday, I'm going to be on Cannolis talking about The Departed. So, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yep. And maybe Friday, I'm going to be on Jay Goodwin, Atom Gray's, and Barbara Lawrence's show. I'm not sure yet.
Okay, cool.
Cool. And Mando,
Woot.
what you
Let's
got?
see. So Thursday, I'm also going to be on Roman's channel. Let's see. Friday, probably doing my Sea of Thieves stream on Twitch. So we're going to be pirates again. Arg. Saturday, I'm doing the Witcher book. I forget what the title is that I'm reading. I just read it earlier today. But one of the Witcher books again. For Literary Souls, my Saturday show, 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. And Monday, I will be once again on my Kick channel doing some Dungeons and Dragons with a few friends of mine, and we are also doing a pirate themed campaign. There's a lot of pirate themes and stuff going on. Like I even have Dobby with an eye patch.
Yeah, pirates are cool though.
They are.
And eventually
Bloody-
I'll get done reading Master and
pirates.
Commander. Yeah, bloody pirates. So yeah, that's and I'm of course going to be having some videos coming out here and there. I went on vacation. I didn't record videos when I was on before I went on vacation, like a bad content creator. I know. I'll get caught up.
Cool. Well, I've got Saturday. My All in the Mix show is going to be favorite movie monsters. We will go over our top 5 favorite monsters of all time, and what's his name? Jay, not Jay Goodwin, the other Jay will be on, and Matt will be on, and Joker voice. So that'll be a fun one. And then next week is The Mummy, and I think that's another 1932. I think.
Yep.
We're on the same
32 of
age.
The Mummy.
Yep. So that'll be fun.
That's another one that
you
has
my
multiple versions, I believe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm talking about like within 10 years of the original.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Definitely. But yeah, that's all I got coming up. So that'll be fun. And yeah, definitely stick around for the next 3 popcorn talks. They'll all be Universal monsters. So cool. And on Halloween night is Dracula.
Nice.
That'll be fun.
It's not going to be Count Dankula, right? It's Dracula.
No, it's Dracula.
No, and then
Count
it'd be
Blackula.
Supreme Court Justice Dankula.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So, yeah. Thanks for y'all coming on again, and hope to have y'all
Pleasure,
on
man.
again soon.
For sure.
And thanks to the
What's
chat
that?
for hanging with us.
Cheers,
And
chat.
Have a good one, everybody.
Cheers.
Bye.
Catch y'all next time. Bye, y'all.
Yeah.
This is quite pleasant.
Pleasant.
All the people
Pretty
you can
sandwich
imagine.
like. If you take a bite of it first and then put it in
Yes,
water.
yes,
and you
yes,
mix it up.
yes,
Oh,
yes.
Guys, I really have to pee. But I'm gonna miss the food, so do you mind if I just pee in the water?
No,
Do you mind if I pee with water? Are you serious? I don't mind if you go pee.
Scoot over.